what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business, not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays.
What's going on? They ask you where you're going, they ask you whatever. You can give your name, but then just say, am I being detained? If they say no, right, it's kind of like a flow chart. If they say no, your second question is, am I free to leave? If they say yes, you're free to leave, leave immediately. Just start walking away. Don't run, but walk away. If they say to the question, am I being detained? Yes, your only response is, I am going to remain silent, I want my lawyer. I want to hear everybody say that.
I want my lawyer.
All right. So, if they say, yes, I'm being detained, you say, I'm going to remain silent, I want my lawyer. If they say, no, you're not being detained, then you say, am I free to leave? If they say, no, or any variation on anything other than yes, what do you say? I'm going to remain silent, I want my lawyer. Is that clear to everybody? I'm going to remain silent, I want my lawyer. So unless they say you're not being detained and you are free to leave, essentially your only response is, I'm going to remain silent, I want my lawyer. And to provide your name and identification if you choose to do that. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
What if they ask if they can search your bag?
No.
So, I'm going to remain silent and I want my lawyer and I do not consent to this search. And you want to repeat through the entire process of the search, I do not consent to this search, right? Because they have claimed in the past that people who denied consent to a search sort of acquiesced later in the process of it. So you want to continue to repeat through the process, I'm not consenting to this search, I do not consent to this search. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
All right. If you are arrested or you see somebody being arrested, my suggestion and what I will do, right, is call out your government name, your birthday, right? Those are the first two things. If you call those out, then one of these folks wearing the nice green hats with the National Lawyers Guild, I also work with the National Lawyers Guild, they're legal observers. What we will do is we will try to get your name and your birthday so that we know who's been arrested and we can hopefully get you processed out as quickly as possible. We have criminal defense lawyers who are willing to represent demonstrators pro bono, that means without charging you, right, for the good of the public. We have a bail fund that is available to bail you out if that becomes necessary, right? If you choose not to give your name or your identification, right, it will take longer, right, for them to process you. So, as I said, most of the time, my choice, now there may be political reasons that you choose not to do that, right? There may be a variety of reasons why you choose not to do that. I'm not advising you one way or the other. I'm trying to inform you of what the potential consequences are of your choices. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to try to give you some information so that you can make informed choices. So, first thing you want to call out if you're being arrested, right, is your government name. Second, your birthday. Third is if you are going to need medication or medical attention in the next 24 hours and you are comfortable sharing that with us, we can better advocate to make sure that you get that while you're in detention or arrest, right? So if you're like, I'm going to need my insulin 6 hours from now, that might be something that you would choose to share, to yell out to the crowd or to the legal observers so that we can advocate for that in case you are detained longer than 6 hours. I will tell you that generally we've been getting people released pretty quickly in Raleigh, that, you know, almost certainly, can't promise anything, right? Main message is don't ever talk to the cops. The other message is do not trust the cops. Do not ever assume that they are going to obey the law. I've gotten so many questions over the last 3 weeks of, can I do such and such? Is that legal or am I going to get arrested? That is a false dichotomy. I hope you realize that by now, right? Just because what you are doing is legal does not mean you are safe from arrest. Everybody clear on that?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. So, where was I? Okay. You call out your medical needs, right? That's the third thing. The fourth thing, if you are being arrested or you see somebody who's getting arrested and you're able to talk to them, and sometimes it's not possible given the dynamics of the situation, is if they need you to contact somebody or you need somebody to contact. Like, hey, you know, my babysitter's leaving at 3, I need you to call so-and-so to make sure my kid's not left alone, right? Or specifically, if you're like, I don't want you, do not call my father, right? Or any information like that. So one is government name, second birthday, third is, are you going to need medical attention or medication in the next 24 hours, right? And then the fourth is, do you want us to call somebody for you or not call somebody for you? Is everybody clear on that? Okay. When you get that information, you need to report it, or I suggest that you report it, to the National Lawyers Guild hotline that's going around. Does everybody have that number?
No.
Can we say that number out loud? I don't know the number. What's the number? 919-408-7569. 919-408-7569. There's a graphic that's been shared on social media. You can look for that, or you can share that graphic. It also has an email address. If you witnessed an arrest or you witnessed police misconduct, call that hotline if you're willing to, right? And tell them what you saw, right? There's also an email address if you have pictures or video or things like that that you're willing to share. You can send that, and unfortunately I don't have the email address memorized. One of these nice folks in the green hat is going to tell me what the email address is.
Could you write the number on my arm for me?
Or put it in the group chat so I can read it out loud.
Anywhere it's not tattooed. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the email address is easy to remember. NCNLG hotline. So all one word. NCNLG hotline at protonmail.com. Now, you may not get that right now, but if you talk to any of these nice folks in the green hats, the legal observers, they can remind you of the phone number and email address if you choose to submit pictures or video or statements or your witness statement or whatever you saw. All right. So what's the most important thing to remember?
Never talk to the police.
Don't talk to the cops. I'm going to remain silent. I want my lawyer. Right? Second, I do not consent to this search. Right? In an interaction, am I being detained? Am I free to leave? Right? Unless the answer is no, you're not being detained, and yes, you're free to leave, your response is, I'm going to remain silent. I want my lawyer. Okay? All right.